Welcome to Milwaukee, Riverwest Radio Show. Hey, shout out Tommy G, Kyle J in the kitchen, he be whipping with me. I got Big Chris in the whip, he be tipping with me. Way Chappelle, he gon' cause hell with me. Get it, Charlie B, in the kitchen with a mask, I with Milwaukee. If he run up on me, I'ma hit him with a butter bean. Riverwest Show, I could call him Christian, he gon' let her bro. Milwaukee, this the smack town. Good grits, crackin' hard, never back down. Try to run up on me, all you hear is the clap sound. I just did him bad.
Welcome to the show on 104.1 Riverwest Radio. My name is Kyle, and joining me as always is Milwaukee Bucks ambassador, Milwaukee rapper, legend in the making, father of the year, Mr. Wave Chappelle. We have a very, very special guest today. He's a rapper, singer, producer, and multi-instrumentalist from Brooklyn. He is 1/3 of the Flatbush Zombies, and his solo stuff is pretty damn good too. Ladies and gentlemen, Erick the Architect. What's up, Erick?
Yeah. What's up, man?
We got an air horn or something. We drop it for you. Welcome to the show.
What's going on?
How much, man? So we're in Milwaukee. Looking at your Flatbush Zombies history, I mean, you performed at the rave multiple times, and you've thrown some like Halloween parties. Yep. So you've obviously been through the city a handful of times. What do you think?
Milwaukee has some of the craziest fans, bro. The rave, one of the craziest venues. Like as soon as you walk in, there's a vibe. I know there's a lot of different stories I've heard about haunts and shit going on in there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect the show at all. I feel like whatever you got going on in there, it puts itself to the side for an hour or two so we can come do our thing. But Milwaukee's always some of the longest lines, some of the most devout fans, the craziest energy. Like Milwaukee's definitely underrated. I say that.
That's I mean, that's really high praise coming from you, considering, I mean, you performed at like every major festival in existence. You've been doing this for a long time, so you've been to a lot of different places.
For sure. Yeah, man.
Did they let you sign the pool yet? Did you earn that right?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I think I went down there one time and I wasn't supposed to.
So I was gonna give you some backstory. So the downstairs, so really the rave used to be this big like old hospital. And so that's where like the haunted story comes from. But then they have this like huge pool down there. So it's pretty legendary, bro. It's like if you ever go back, definitely spend some time down there, bro. It's kind of crazy.
One of my friends actually went down there before I actually ever like really know what was going on. I think somebody had taken him, and he used his phone to like film something, and then he showed me a video of what it looked like, and like something happened to his screen, like in a very weird. I can't even describe it. Some weird like color distortion thing happened. We were like, "Yo, what was that, bro?" That's mad weird.
I guess for starters, congratulations on all your success. I mean, you've had a great career. You're still young, and you just put out Parkour with James Blake. So the solo stuff on point.
Got me fucked up, thinking this coincidence. Probably thinking about me when you hanging with your friends. We been seeing different, had me picking through the lens. Is there anybody out there really doing what he says? Okay, no we lie, but that's the truth. Spilling out, phone tap. Darling, can you hear me out? I'm waiting on the call. I got a couple, send them up, but all my youngins banging, but I never got involved. But
if I could change the shit, I wouldn't change the shit. Wouldn't change a thing, you notice how it get. Level up on niggas, shoot a biopic. Let them tell a story how he made it rich. It's crowded in my city, had to move. Had to relocate, then I changed my attitude. I played this cold train, I don't need your batted blues. Legendary space, ain't no man can fit his shoes. When I was growing up, we all had different crews. I always knew what's up, if you down to bust a move. When the sin is sinking in, water caving in the roof. Opponents in the news, and what I do is future proof. Down in shiny suits, I done came up from the roots. Streets littered, heavy cops shooting and pollute. Harlem city lights, Brooklyn still commute. How we stay astute, cause he studying his truth. It's regular to me, it's foreign when it's you. It's why I change the mood, I talk to God when I'm confused. How we get the juice, I rally with my dudes. And it's a dirty game, boy, somebody gotta lose.
Got me fucked up, thinking this coincidence. Probably thinking about me when you hanging with your friends. We been seeing different, had me peeking through the lens. Is there anybody out there really doing what he says? Okay, no we lie, but it's the truth. Spilling out, phone tap, darling, can you hear me out? I'm waiting on the call, I got a couple, send them up, but all my youngins banging, but I never got the vibe, but
Sunday, not be screaming, nah, but everything you do is getting jumping like it's hardcore. What this nigga thinking shit is sinking, but it's still a short. I can tell you hardly ready, probably cause you immature.
got me fucked up, thinking this coincidence. Probably thinking about me when you hanging with your friends. We be seeing different, had me peeking through the lens. Is there anybody out there really doing what he says? Okay, no we lie, but it's the truth. Spilling out, phone tap, darling, can you hear me out? I'm waiting on the call, I got a couple, send them up, but all my youngins banging, but I never got it.
So I guess, how are you feeling? How do you stay focused and motivated?
Man, like, as much as hip hop is a sport, I feel like it's just as much as a sport as basketball or football or anything else that I watch religiously. I feel like it's something that if you don't work on every day, you will get left behind. You know, you got to put your reps up in the gym. You got to make sure that you stay with your ears to what's going on, but also finding your own identity. The only difference is I think because it relies so much on being creative, you fall victim to feeling insecure because you constantly in the eyes of someone else. You thinking like, well, what is this guy doing? And should I be further with my career, or should I change my style up because this is what's popping right now? I think that I don't fall victim to any of those things because I was always okay with being the alternative, not preferred artist. And when I say that, I don't mean to discredit myself. It's more like I had to really accept that I'm generally different and I don't really use other people's music, and especially music that's current, to inspire my current stuff. So if I'm listening to something, it's because I'm just checking it out. I might DJ it or whatever, but I always make sure that I stay attuned to what first initially brought me into music, which is R&B and gospel and soul music. So Curtis Mayfield and Donny Hathaway and Herbie Hancock and Miles Davis, those will always be my go-tos to inspire me, and they're never gonna get played out. So that's, you know, it's something I stable to put that into hip hop, and not even mean sampling. I just mean like in the sense of like what they stood for and how prolific they were and being different.
Yeah, that's super dope, man. And it's funny that you kind of went into like some of your inspirations and stuff, because I was listening to I definitely rock with tons of your like your solo stuff, like super heavy. And it was interesting though, because it's like you hear like these kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, like these like little bits of like Common here, a little bit of like super soulful, like you were saying. How do you find that balance between like your solo vibe or like your creations as a solo artist versus what you do in the group effort?
I think primarily for the group, because I produced everything. I wore
probably have a lot of, you got a lot of pull. I feel like if you're producing it, you're like, we're gonna do it this way.
Yeah, it's just different. It's like I'm the orchestrator in that sense, where it's like, well, here are the beats that I made and here's what I've been listening to, and we'll catch a vibe. But I think my solo music, especially my new album, I barely produced any of it at all.
Word.
Is it hard relinquishing that control?
Nah, bro. Like when I met James, that was one of the first persons that was like, I got you. Like, bro, like you're such a dope writer that I don't even think you get enough credit as how dope of a rapper you are, because you got this producer rapper thing over your head. But we're gonna show him that you really out here on your songwriting stuff, not just like, yo, he's dope for a producer that raps. Like, and that's cap, because I started making beats after I learned how to rap. But most people, because of the Flatbush Zombies, it made it harder for people to think of it that way. You know, people forgot about the stuff I did prior because of the exposure to the group in like 2013, 2014. Yeah. But yeah.
No, what do you like doing more? What's your favorite? You like being a producer more, or being like on the artist side more?
Right now I like the artist side more. Mainly because I get to work with more people. And they're curating stuff for me. As much as I like helping artists with their vision, like I like people to cater to me. I've been catering to artists for over a decade, bro. Like, and
It's your turn. Your turn.
I'm a little like, time to me to wear some shades in the studio, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's time for me to be in that chair. So yeah.
Oh yeah, well, you deserve it. And you talk about, I mean, James Blake, that was kind of like a musical bucket list guy for you. Were checking that off, someone you were like a big fan of, and then it's probably nice feeling that you end up meeting him, working with him, and he likes your music just as much as you like his. What about like early on in your career? So like Wave was discovered by Yo Gotti when he was going to college in Memphis, and he signed with spent a couple of years with Gotti. So he was someone that, like, a very well-known artist early on in Wave's career, that discovered him and put him on, was a fan. What about you, like in those early days? Who was like some of the first bigger names that rocked with you and liked your music?
It's weird. I was actually talking to my friend the other day. I have never received a real cosign, but
Damn.
I think partly being independent made it like hard for people to want to do that. The big bro thing where they put you under their, yo, come here, this is he next. Yeah. I never had that. But behind closed doors, I had a lot of people that gave me great advice. One was J. Cole.
Oh, damn, that's cool.
I would say probably when I was really young, there was a producer that was in Brownsville. Me and my friend in high school, after I graduated from high school, I used to go to his house, but I forget his name, bro. But we used to kick it by his crib. He used to have this thing called the Miko. It was like a synthesizer that had a computer built inside. And I remember, I don't want to snitch on myself, but he wanted to hit me up because he wanted to get some free sounds. So I was like, yeah, I know I get some free sounds, and I installed it into this machine for him. And then I found out later that he did like One Blood for Game, and he did
oh, sweet.
He did Gangsters Don't Play for Junior Reed and Fabulous. And like in New York, those were like huge records. And this dude was just in Brownsville, like in the hood, cooking up these tracks in his basement. And that was the first time I really got to work with someone who was like working with major label artists and putting out songs like low key, but also like high key too, I would say toward the beginning of my career too, John Gorley from Portugal the Man too was a really good friend. And him and I garnished a relationship right at the beginning of like maybe like 2016. I used to listen to that group big time in college, and when him and I became friends, he's like telling me that he does graphic design too, and he likes to draw. He draws all the covers, and I'm like, dude, I do the same thing. Like, I'm the producer of my band, and I do my stuff. And he's like, man, and we ended up doing the Crown song in 2018 on Vacation to Hell. So yeah, I've always had like some type of mentorship, but I never really had one specific person that put me under their wings. I would just say, yeah, probably as a rapper though, Cole, I always looked up to him. And from afar, he was really integral to a lot of like the inspiration that I needed, as far as somebody who loves music on both sides, playing instruments and then rapping.
Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope.
You're very versatile. I mean, you've done graphic design. That's what you went to school for. Did I read coding? You code a little bit too.
Yeah.
You draw,
Facts.
produce.
Facts.
So when you're drawing, what inspires you? Like, what do you see out in the world on certain days that makes you want to like pick up a pen and rather than draw?
The first thing is and wave rap too, so you know what time it is. Like when you write something in your phone, right? And you like, yo, I'm about to do this interview at 12 p.m. and you just type that in your phone.
Yeah.
You're gonna read it like that. And you probably gotta open your voice memo and be like, damn, how am I gonna let me make sure I say it in the way that I want to remember it. If I wrote that on a piece of paper, I could write yo in huge letters. And then it's like, damn, maybe if I'm gonna say this out again, if I said yo and it's really big and I have an interview at 12 p.m., I'd probably whisper the other part. And it just helps the cadence of understanding of how I'm gonna say something, especially when most of the shit that we read is through the phone. It's monotone by nature. It's like we can't really control it. That was initially what started from me like writing in cuneiform, like actual handwriting. Then I'm like, yo, like somebody like Picasso, Keith Haring, like those are like two of my favorite artists of all time. They really created like their own style that I would feel is I told somebody last week actually, I enjoy artists that do things that make you feel that you can do them too. But then when you actually sit down to actually go and do it, you realize how difficult it is. They establish a style that I think is attainable, because cubism is very simple when you look at geometry, and so is what Keith Haring was doing in a sense of like it being street art. But when you sit down and think about it, I'm like, but who did they see as a muse before they created this? And that's where the genius comes in. It's like, but they didn't see this from somewhere else to create this art. You know, for me, art has always been something that was in tandem with my music, because I always needed an outlet. I still need it. Some people say like, yo, when you're not making music, don't you just, put your laptop away, or like chill out. Or like, stop creating. Nah, there's no chilling out. I'll draw, or I'll go through a phase of finding another way to express myself that's not music, but I still have to express myself. I can't just turn my phone off and turn the computer off and turn off everything for like, I don't know how people do that. Like, they just chill on a beach and do nothing. I can't do that shit for too long. After a while, I got to pick up a pen, and it's usually to draw or write something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the things that you do professionally for a living are like other people's hobbies, what they would be doing to unwind from like their day-to-day life. So I don't know if the art is what people that don't do art professionally, maybe that's like their passion on the side that they do for fun. So I don't know. I guess maybe the opposite for you is you could just get like a regular job, and that could be your stress reducer.
I'll go back and work at Guitar Center as my downtime.
For sure. I like to tell people, man, the superpower never turns off, bro. Like, it's almost like
that's what I'm saying.
Like, being creative is like this superpower that we have as artists. And it's like, even though we're not necessarily in the booth recording every single minute, it's like we could be walking down the street and it's just going. It's like nonstop. You know what I mean? So that's I can relate to that for sure. Like, heavily. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, man, because I was just listening to this pod called the blog era, man, and I feel like you guys, especially Flatbush Zombies, like y'all kind of burst on the scene, especially during the blog era. Like, Ill Roots was like one of my favorites. You know what I mean?
Jeez. Shout out Mike Carson.
Man, Mike Carson, Mike Wax, like, bro, Ill Roots
Wax
was crazy. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to ask you, like, what's your thoughts on like the blog era transitioning into like the era that we in now? Like, what's just your thoughts on opinion?
Oh man, I think about this shit all the time, bro.
Same, bro. Same.
Good question, Wave. We're crushing it.
I'm a SoundCloud guy. I came up in that era, so like I just.
My God, bro. Like, I miss it, bro, and I miss it mainly because. And this is no disrespect to anybody who does this for a living, especially if you're making money from it. I'm never gonna hate on you, bro. Like, do your thing, but like, who are you curating these playlists? Who are you, bro? Like, everybody.
Dude, there's some people in Milwaukee curating playlists, and it's like, why does anyone care about your?
Why do you care? Honestly? Like, why do people give a shit? Those blogs, people gave a shit because they had a tone and they had reputation, and they wouldn't post people's shit if they didn't fuck with you. That was it. Like, if I don't like you, I'm not gonna post it just because it's popular. And then each song had a write-up that was unique. It wasn't just like the same post from one blog that you paste and put another one. This one had a different tone because the people who posted this actually feel different about the record than these people do. And like, say Street Etiquette was my other homies. Like, they had their own tone of that. Or like Brooklyn Circus had their joint. Like, it was like a whole like unity of people that represented a community. And I think nowadays it's just about clicks. And like, if I don't think something is good, I won't play it. Like, I won't talk about it. I won't talk about it amongst my friends. I'll probably make fun of it, but I'm not gonna like
definitely
make a post and like laugh at it. Like, right now on the internet is like, I say this shit all the time. Like, just because you have songs that are popular on the internet does not mean it's a good song. I don't know why people equate that to quality. You know, it's two different things.
There's some bad songs with lots and lots of streams,
bro. Especially because you're laughing at it. I'm like, yo. This song sucks. Let me send it to my cousin. Yo, when your cousin said it sucks too, and he sent it to his cousin. That's why it has mad plays. It's not because it's good. Like, it's not necessarily something that we look at as we deem it as being good because it's popular. Like, and I think back then what separated it was people would post things that have no plays because they thought it was dope. You know how many artists that I've discovered through a blog that had like 500 plays, and it was the dopest shit to me. Like, it didn't matter it mattered who posted it. It didn't matter how the analytics perform. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I miss most about it. And I also miss that, like, getting on a blog was like a big deal for me. Like, because if these people were people that you looked up to, they had a reputation, and now that you're part of that, you're part of their little clique and family, and like that was dope. Because then when you see them in person, you're like, "Yo, thanks for posting my shit, bro." Respectfully, I would never, ever, ever, ever thank an influencer for posting my shit. Really, like, I'm sorry, it's not the same thing. It's like I would probably press them to make sure that they're a fan of me. I would be like, "Yo, how you found about me, bro?" Like,
right? Do you really listen to this shit? Like,
Yeah.
Like, I would really ask them, like, "Yo, what's your favorite song by me?" I like the one. I'm like, "Yo, nah, you just posted it because it got clicks." And I also think that it's even when I first heard about Kendrick and Schoolboy, those guys like and TDE, like I remember people used to post this shit and it said K Dot. It didn't even say Kendrick Lamar yet. I still remember that. Like, that's how long these blogs have been supporting these artists that eventually become superstars, you know? But if you remember that, I would think the only people that I could say that I'm friends with now that can vividly that I made music with, obviously, in that era was Freddie Gibbs.
Yup, fire.
Danny Brown.
Thanks to Gibbs.
And Action Bronson. Those are the only people that I could really think that were making music with me or adjacent from me or whatever. Before Spotify and DSPs came, we was running YouTube. Like, we was running up YouTube links and Spinrilla and like just putting on Mediafire. That was like an era. Like, people don't if you don't remember that, bro, like you wasn't really, you know what I mean? You're too young.
Yeah, you taking it back, man. No, it's dope because I love the perspective, you know what I mean, on that. Because it's like, man, the blog era, one thing I would say is it was so authentic, man. The authenticity of all those moments, you know what I mean? You could tell that the people, like the bloggers that was uploading it was really tapped in, you know what I mean? Like, they was running into all the artists and going to these shows, you know what I mean? And then posting about it. And it would spread naturally, whereas, like you said, now everything is either viral because it's funny, it's comedy or something like that, or like it has, this has 1 million streams, like let's post it, or you know, let's make it viral or whatever. So I feel you, bro. It just felt super authentic, you know, during the blog era. So
Facts.
You talk about those early Kendrick's like early days. It just reminded me of Black Hibbie. Their posse cut "Say What's Up" with J Rock and Absol, Schoolboy Q, Kendrick Lamar. Crazy. Those were from like the blog years. What about on the music side? Obviously, you got that down pat. But your future in Esquire, you're a bit of a fashion guru. I think that's safe to say. You're
for sure.
Big fan of Carhartt. So Wave also proudly represents Carhartt. His dad was a well-known rapper in Milwaukee in like the 80s and 90s. He was repping Carhartt then, but you explained why you liked it. Ripping it doesn't mean shit. Like, that's when you start accessorizing it and like adding patches, the wear and tear in it, like that adds to the look. And you said it's like a very Brooklyn, like a very New York type of vibe. So are you still a proud Carhartt fan?
Yeah, bro, I'll never not wear it. I think Carhartt is one of the timeless brands that people, when the asteroid hits us in 168 years, or whatever they're saying, people still gonna be going down with their Carhartts. Yeah, we don't know.
Cockroaches and Carhartt is gonna survive.
Yeah, cockroaches, and that's a song title. Yo, we gotta make that.
Yeah, Wave, get on that. You guys got that one.
That's hard, bro. Hey, listen.
I'll take a credit on that just for the title. I gotta get something on there.
Hey man, that's hard, bro. Cockroaches. That
was off the dome.
Two C's.
Hey man, listen, they sent me, so one of my guys actually works for their marketing department. And what's funny is, as influential as rappers are with Carhartt, I don't know if they have anybody that's representing their brand, like that's like an artist or like a rapper. So like I've been pressing hella hard, right? I got my man's Matt. He got me 2 of the overalls, like the black joint, and then the like brown joint. You know what I mean? So I be flexing in Milwaukee. I'd be like, yo, I low key got a Carhartt deal.
It's all about
I got the plug.
How you present yourself. Well, I think if you guys make the song, like definitely Carhartt will take notice. How many songs about Carhartt is there in the title?
Come on, and that's a fact.
Amen.
What about so have any architects ever accused you of architectural appropriation or stolen valor yet? Has that happened to you?
Nah, but there's people that have hit me up online and been like, I wanted your username because I'm actually a real architect. And I'm just like,
sorry.
Come on, bro. Like, But the thing is funny. This like my name came from the Matrix, so
Yeah.
it wasn't even about like I was like a kid. I guess like when you're younger, especially in the hood, like they give you your nickname and stuff. And I didn't really have no nickname. That's usually how you everybody got their little name from the street or whatever. And I didn't have one. And I had a bunch of other different rap names before I decided on this one. But after I seen The Matrix, I think I went to my brother's graduation. I seen it. He graduated from West Virginia University, so we went to WVU. And I remember we seen The Matrix, and one of the guys we were going with, he was older than me. My brother's 10 years older than me. So this is what Matrix came out in 99 or 2000.
Yeah, 99. The first one.
First one. So good memory. So it was like I'm a kid, and this dude, his name is Steven. He was like, "Yo, telling my brother this. Yo, don't watch The Matrix, yo. That shit is trash, bro." We almost wasn't gonna go see it because he said it's one of the worst movies he ever seen, bro.
Damn.
And me and my brothers, we were just like, yo, we might as well go see it because we out here, ain't nothing really to do. He already finished school. Like, let's go see it. And I'm watching this movie like, yo, because you went into it with like an expectation it's gonna be butt. I'm like, yo, this is one of the crazy movies. I think this is probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life, bro. And one of the scenes that would catch me is bro in the chair, like with the 150, 250 screens, like look at all the screens. And he was looking at all these different people's lives. And I was like, yo, like everybody loved Neo. Like Neo was like a Morpheus, Trinity. He had such of these great characters, but like this guy, the all white KFC man suit on, I'm like, yo,
he's the architect. He's the creator.
This is the architect, bro. He made all of this. Like he may sit in the back, but he's watching everything. And then I related it to like being a Leo and being a lion, and lions are observant. And that's kind of how I am. I don't need to be like talking mad loud, people to like pay attention to me and shit. I'm very like in the back, in the cut, but I'm definitely got my eye on everything going on. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call myself the architect. I actually seen Kodak Black say that was his rap name before or something like that. The interviews did.
Crazy.
Yeah. You landed on a good one. Do you think it's possible that we are living in a simulation like The Matrix implies?
Bro, like we jacked into something, bro, especially with social media. Like
it feels like
sometimes I gotta turn my phone off because I be feeling like I seen this post already today somewhere else. It's like deja vu related to the internet. Or I don't know if this happens to you. I'll dream about something that didn't happen, but it'll be related to the internet and not just real life. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Like I'm dreaming about using my phone or some shit like that. Like, or like I'm dreaming that I'm scrolling and I'm like, wait, this shit has infiltrated my subconscious, like Black Mirrors type stuff. Yeah,
that's crazy. So you mentioned The Matrix, bro. I'm a big movie guy myself. I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm heavy on the Star Wars. You know what I mean? I go hard. Like what's like some of your favorite movies? I guess that would like inspire you.
Oh man, I love movies, bro. American History X,
good one.
Donnie Darko.
Heard you like zombie movies a lot too.
Oh yeah, Night of the Living Dead. Oh man, so many. What's the Dawn of the Dead, the original and the remake with Ving Rhames?
Yeah,
it's crazy. It was crazy. I'm about to run that back.
Are you more scared of zombies that can run, or like the slow and steady ones? Or would you be?
I'm scared of them 28 weeks later zombies. Those like just turn immediately. Yeah, like another one. I would say obviously The Matrix. I would go with like Friday, Baby Boy. You run all those paid in full.
The BET special right there.
All the BET specials, all the stuff on Sunday, Belly, all the ones on Sundays, they like replace everybody's voice with some other crazy voice actor because of the curses.
Because the cussing. Like, suck my big toe, brother.
Stop freaking playing.
Yeah.
As someone who's spent a lot of time in both New York and LA, where would you rather be when the zombie apocalypse broke out?
I'm gonna be in New York, bro. I'm gonna be in New York, bro. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down. You know what I mean? Like if we gonna go out, I gotta be in New York, bro. I don't want to be in LA if the zombie outbreak happens. We have more space, but I feel like I'm not gonna know where to go. Like in New York, I know exactly where to go. Like
all the spots.
Yeah.
I also read you like you're Michael Jackson fan, or Thriller was one of your favorite albums. This reminds me, since we were just talking about zombies, you know how like when Michael turns into the zombie and then they do the dance and the girl just stands there the whole time, like normally you would think you would run away, but I could get why she like sat through that whole dance number.
She probably was like, yo, this is fire.
Fucking fire.
I'm mad confused why I like this. Like, he was just chilling with me at the movies, and now he fully turned up with like this whole.
What about favorite career highlights? And you have a lot. Any like festivals that really stick out? Any like first time at certain venues that really stick out? I guess.
Oh man,
you want your like top 5 concert highlight video on SportsCenter? Like, what do you think, if any, come to mind?
I have moments. I have performances. I would say one is one that doesn't even require a performance. It was you're working on Vacation to Hell, and Bun B called me. And before he recorded his verse, he was like, yo, man, this track is heat, man. Like, you got some dope beats, bro. Like, he's like, I want to tell you, you know, Pimp C, rest in peace to Pimp C. Pimp C really was somebody who, both of us as a unity, people would call us weird. And a lot of people didn't understand what he was coming from, especially. And a lot of people took from the style that we had, and we didn't, you know, obviously we getting the credit now, you know, rest in peace to his life. But unfortunately, he had to pass for people to really give him his respect, you know. He called me and told me basically like to continue to be weird, and to being weird is nothing wrong with that. And people use that word to humiliate or to embarrass people, but it's actually something to be proud of. You should be happy that people don't think you fit in, because we didn't fit in, and you know, we UGK. I'm like, damn, that was deep. Then he recorded the verse, sent it to me. That was wild.
It's definitely a loaded word for sure. It can be used as insult. I guess it depends on the person saying
depends
it.
On, because... Yeah, it depends on the tone. If somebody's laughing while they're calling you weird, that's probably... Another one, I don't remember the name of the festival, but it was in Europe, and I remember Skepta was headlining the festival, and piece of Skep too. He's doing crazy things right now. I knew that I saw him earlier that day, and we were performing at a similar stage. I think it was like adjacent to the main stage or some shit. I don't remember. But I remember our DJ at the time is my boy was like, yo, they're telling us we can't perform. I'm like, why? He said, because there's too many people. What? And, you know, we stepped and kind of looked on the stage to see what the crowd was looking like. Bro, no lie, it must have been like 40,000 people, bro. It was insane. And there was like a waterfront kind of area with like a beach, and people were standing in like the area of the water was. And I think that's why they said you can't perform. And we just like, yo, like, what you want us to do is like, well, you got to wait till people leave. And I'm like, yo, I'm not performing at not peak people hours. I want to do it when people are there. So my boy has his finger like by like the start the show button, like, yo,
there's a start the show. There's a start the show button.
I mean, you know, it's play.
Yeah, the play. You know how Z gets the stutter in the song.
Stutter go. Okay. Yeah, once they hear that, you can't turn back. The crowd's gonna go crazy. So he has his finger like right over the button. I'm like, yo, hit the button,
on the
bro.
switch, just ready to drop it.
Yeah, hit the button. We hit the button. That shit went nuts, bro. It was insane. The energy was so crazy. And I remember I had jumped down into like this pit area, like right before you go into the crowd. And the song was over because I knew that like I'd have time to walk back to the stage because I knew like the ending of the song was coming. So as I'm climbing back up this thing to go back, I hear the beginning of Red Eye to Paris. I'm like, why is he playing this? This is not in the set. And I turn around and Skepta's on the stage, bro. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He has to perform. Like, he's about to perform a full set on his stage. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing here, bro? Then he looked at me. He's like, yo, Erick, run the team. Like, run the team right now. I'm like, oh, shit. That was crazy. And then we did the whole song. I messed up so many times. And afterwards, he was like, yo, bro, you don't know the words to your own tune? And I'm like, bro, I didn't expect any of that. Like,
yo, insane. That's fucking crazy, bro.
Another one would be Torn with Snoop Dogg was insane. Like,
nice.
He's just so locked in. Like, we were so used to performing and being the big fish the whole time. You know, we've been touring for years at this point, but when we got this opportunity to go with him, He a legend, you know what I'm saying? He wrote with OT Genesis. He had Be Real. And I think he had a couple with Wiz as well. So we had open for him, and that's when I really like learned like, wow, like this is more than just 10 years like us. This dude been doing this for like damn near like 30 years. Like it was so locked in. And he actually had a funny water story too. It was like people were just, we were in Vegas, I think, and people were in a pool. Like we're performing at the top of this thing, and people like in the pool, like turning up. I'm like with like regular clothes on, not pool clothes. I was like, yo, they love Snoop, bro. That's fandom right there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I got two more.
Sure.
I would say probably Coachella. Performing the first year at Coachella, you know, Better Off Dead reached the 10th year anniversary, had just approached, and you know, we have it all across all DSPs, but we released Better Off Dead in 2013, and that changed our lives forever, man. Like, you know, I never did nothing like that before, bro. Like I never, you know what I mean? Like Insecure, hell yeah, bro. I didn't think anybody would like anything that I did, bro. Like I'm just like a young guy with dreams, and you know, I wanted to be a producer and an artist since I was a kid. It wasn't like something that I fell in love with because it was popular. It was something because it was entertaining. It was attractive to me, and I did it before anybody would really. It's cool as hell to say you're a producer now. It wasn't cool when I was 12 because, you know, like it seemed like a fantasy. It was so expensive and it was so hard to get into. No one really respected it. And until I really got like early 20s, then I'd say the world started to respect musicians in a different way, especially hip hop artists. It was like, if people didn't know who you were buns. Like nobody would. It was like, why are you pursuing something and you claim that you're serious about it and no one knows who you are? It's that kind of energy. So just to see
it takes time, doesn't it?
Bro, but people are just impatient, you know? It's just, they want you to jump all these hurdles so fast. But yeah, man, we released Better Off Dead and we opened the Coachella stage and we had all these people there. And we thought no one would show up because we're right at the beginning. It was like 12:30 or something. And like, that was insane energy, bro. It was the same year that Outkast had come back as well, so just to be in the same headline, like amongst the same, just thinking about that got me emotional, bro. That was wild, bro. It was almost like
this is a good highlight. This is a good highlight video for sure.
Yeah,
that you're sharing with us.
It's a fantasy, bro. Like, you know, you look past those memories and you really could forget them because we move so fast. Everything is so quick, but you got to look back and see like where you have come from. And you see other artists have the same story or walk down that same path. And the Outkast is like probably my favorite group of all time. So I was blessed to even be part of that. And I'm trying to think of one more for you. I would say I would do a more recent one. I would say this year Coachella for me as a solo artist was a big thing because I've never played Coachella by myself. And I was on stage with Alice in Wonderland as White Fang, and she was pregnant, bro. Like she just conceived her kid, Love to Her. And we had written the song moments before. Like I can't even tell you how close to Coachella we had wrote the song. But I've known her for so long. Such a sweet lady. Like she became my friend on some like another festival we performing at. She was like going through some type of crisis, you know, with a fan that was like harassing her, and she actually hid into like this closeted area where like she's like secured, and she was like trying to like come down from whatever the hell was happening on stage. And I didn't know who she was, and I also had no idea that was going on. And I started playing this piano that was in the green room. And because I just wanted to. Yeah. And she opened the door like, were you just playing piano? That was you. I was like, yeah. She's like, wow, that was beautiful. Like, can you keep playing? And I just kept playing. And I really didn't understand. You know, I thought it was just a chick that thought I was cool because I could play piano. You know what I mean? And she just was like, yo, you saved me. You don't even understand. Like, you saved me. And later on, years later, she had told me what that was. Me and her exchanged numbers and whatever. But she told me the scenario. And we never really got to formally work on music together. So this year was the first time we released a record together. And that brought us to Coachella. And I performed with her at the EDM stage. I've got to name it the Mojave tent or something like that, Mojave tent.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nuts, man. That was like crazy. I've never been on that stage. I've never been around the EDM energy except for like maybe a couple festivals. So their crowds are not like hip hop fans, bro. They are absolutely crazy, bro. And I thank her for giving me a chance to do that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are probably my top 5 for sure.
Man, that's
a nice list.
Man, you snap, bro. You snap. Congrats on all of that, brother. That's legendary. Even the Outcast from a hip hop standpoint, you know what I mean? To have that moment, bro, that's legendary. You know what I mean? That's damn near past legendary, bro. So
and you're doing all this with like your friends that you grew up with. That's crazy too. That's like a whole nother variable that must make it like even better.
Bro, I mean, people dream of stuff like this. And up until maybe like 2 years ago, I was quite like I would never really talk about my accomplishments because I realized that when you're around people who are insecure or not doing well, they take your pride or happiness as arrogance.
Flex almost.
It's like weird. It's like, yeah, you're like almost hating that I'm happy, especially coming out of COVID. There was a time when I really found a lot of peace amongst all the stuff that was going on, and people were so miserable. And I picked up so many more skills in that period of time. And a lot of people were just in a funk. And I released Future Proof in the peak of COVID. Now, you know, my song Let It Go has like more streams than a lot of Flatbush Zombie songs has, you know? So like just to see that, you know, I don't know if people expected or put a ceiling on what they thought I was capable of. Like it dispelled a lot of the stuff that people had thought. And that's why it's like I have to kind of walk with my head up. I can't never let like some momentary crap or whatever like make me feel like it defines who I am. You know what I'm saying? That's just a couple minutes of annoyance or sadness. You have to create through it, and you can push yourself beyond without even having to dig so deep. You just have to like recognize that it's just a moment. It's not going to be forever. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Man, I just gotta say thanks for being an inspo, man. Like inspiration, you know what I mean? Because I can relate to that because especially coming off of I used to have a deal myself with CMG. I was a part of like the early CMG. And then, you know, I did my thing in that space, but then leaving that space, you know, there comes all these like, you know, you get doubts, comments, all these things, but then having the second win that I've been able to have myself, you know, post COVID, you know what I mean, performing with the Bucks and doing Summerfest Festival and all these things like that. I can super relate, you know what I mean, to what you're saying, man. You're having a crazy like full circle moment, like coming back to Coachella this time as an independent artist, dropping your album Future Proof, which is amazing, by the way. So
Thank you, bro.
Very, very inspirational, bro.
Bro, I appreciate you telling me that, and like just like, you know how like as a rapper you'd be like, man, my shit is dope, bro. I'm the best, bro. Like that's some rapper shit. You just gotta say that. Like
Wave says it all the time. I feel like that's what you got. That's how you got to be like, though, right? I mean, nobody wants to be like, I want to be like the most average rapper of all time.
Yeah,
like, don't be saying like that.
You got to be like your biggest cheer in your own cheering section. But I would say like for me to accomplish kind of what I share with you guys today and to never really be like I'm him, it's really scary. And like I feel sorry for anybody who didn't believe in me from till now, because what I'm about to drop is really going to dictate a lot. It's the first time ever like I am him though, bro. I did all these things. I work with all these artists. I've done work with Joey Badass. I've worked with all these people who have seen me grow since I was like 19 years old, and it's now coming full circle. And yeah, like if I was able to accomplish that, not even fully believing in myself, imagine now. And I think the new album is really gonna it's for independent artists. I think it's gonna raise the bar for music, but independent artists is gonna give us a lot of hope that a lot can be done with a dream and not just a business or a bag or some type of system. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, this is the craziest. Even the momentum that I've had from working with Jungle, blessed to Jungle too, it really showed me that like people want to see me in a light that is not maybe the one that they've been seeing me in, and that's kind of where my album. You gonna make more music like Candle Flame? I mean, the next song I'm about to drop, bro, is literally like It's one of them ones. So
that
it's
song
in the
is
same,
that's like groovy as hell,
bro. And I've been on that type of timing. It's just that I would create a moniker or I would do it under a pseudonym or something and release it. I wouldn't do it as Erick the Architect because the Zombies Erick is just like, if you're not listening to my instrumentals projects, you really don't even know that I make house music, you know what I'm saying? Or that I like dance music. But, you know, even working with James Blake comes from dubstep, and so many people look at him as more piano-based vocal stuff. It's like, yeah, that's newer James Blake, but the old James Blake is dubstep, heavy grind synth shit. And, you know, I knew that about him. So when I met him, I'm like, yo, bro, like, I know we can make something that would exemplify both of our passions for this thing that we did in the past. And when I Keep Calling with him, I sampled Charlotte Day Wilson. That was my first time actually releasing a record that wasn't Erick doing like dance music. So this is now another record. So my next record is like a dance record. So we'll see like what people think of it, but I love the record, and the feature I have on it is awesome. And I'm just ready for people to experience this new version of me. And I'm just excited for it to touch down.
Sure. What's the date? When's it coming out?
Coming out in October. I can't tell you what date.
And what's the name of the project?
I can't tell you that either.
Damn. All right. Well, Erick the Architect has a really, really dope project coming out in October, and that's all. It's a dance album. That's all we can say. It's going to be fucking sweet.
It's a dance. It's a single. That's a dance single. But
okay,
the album is after that. Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Cool. Well, thank you, man. Did you have fun? I feel like this was a good interview.
Nah, bro, it was good. You guys had good questions. I appreciate you for doing the research too. You know, a lot of people don't go deep, man. They don't want to talk about the blogs and you know what I mean? Because it's hard for people to realize how long you've been doing it when you don't talk about shit like that. They just say, so who's some features you have in your new album? It's like, yeah, but you know, I had to work 15 years to get those features.
Yeah.
Damn, let's talk about it. Like, yeah.
You're probably getting fans at this point that don't associate you with Flatbush Zombies, right?
Bro, you'd be surprised. Like all these people who have heard, you know, I think this year was the most features I've done ever. And all the fans that have come from that are not. People who listen to Jungle do not listen to Flatbush Zombies. Like, I
don't see that. I don't see
that. You know, I would say even working with James so much, they're not directly fans. And I think that's what's most challenging and fun. It's like showing people that I got a lot of different hats. And this was the first time, like, you know, I was in an interview that really brought up that kind of shit, you know, like the past.
Feels like the first time I made time in a minute. Rock with it, I'm in attendance. How can we pair feelings aside? I gotta match the fires to the flame. The feeling just got attached. I got the days fall, the straight fall away small. The waist started dancing on me. Had to take you back home. Kinda moving slowly, fast forward. Butterflies in the belly, your signs is angelic. And mine through my aesthetic, and most to try get it. Love it without limits, the message is over there. Round and round with me, the baby don't mind spinning. Word, put it working up with pearls. Shorty could be my girl. Look at this old girl, she precious like little pearls. Hair straight of them pearls, beautiful cause you earned it. Making this thing worth it.